Iode. In this class, we can derive the expression for input impedance of a transmission line. So, what do you mean by input impedance? Means the impedance we are getting when we are looking at the input side of a transmission line. So, for this, we can consider transmission line of length L characterized by gamma and Z0 connected to a load. ZL we can see in figure we have a transmission line. So if you are looking at the generator side, if you are looking at the input side, what is the total impedance of that transmission line, that is represented as Z in. So the properties of this transmission line is represented as gamma and Z0, and that the generator side the point is represented as Z equal to 0, having voltage V0 and current I0. At a distance L, we are placed our load having voltage VL and current IL. So we can take the second degree equation, our transmission line equation, to find the input impedance. So our transmission line equation is d square by dz square of Vs is equal to gamma square Vs, or d square by dz square of Is is equal to gamma square Is, and we can solve that second degree equation. So you will get the solution as Vs of Z equal to V0 plus e raised to minus gamma Z plus V0 minus e raised to plus gamma Z. Similarly, Is of Z equal to V0 plus by Z0 e raised to minus gamma Z minus V0 by V0 minus by Z0 e raised to gamma Z, and this plus and minus sign indicate the positive z direction and negative z direction respectively. So we can see the figure that the transmission line location, all the things are given. So input impedance due to a line terminated by a load we can see in figure A. Similarly, that figure B is the equivalent circuit for finding V0 and I0 in terms of Z in at the input. Then we can, as we did in case of a voltage and current distributed in a transmission line terminated with a load, we here also we can find V0 plus and V0 minus. In for that we can take the terminal conditions as V0 is equal to V of Z equal to 0 and I0 is equal to Is of Z equal to 0. So we are putting this conditions in this equation, Vs of Z and Is of Z. So you will get it as V0 is equal to V0 plus V0 minus, and I0 is equal to V0 plus by Z0 minus V0 minus by Z0. If you are applying this equation number 3, that is the terminal condition at the generator side. So then after finding this V0 plus and V0 minus, you will get it as half V0 plus Z0 I0 and half V0 minus Z0 I0. The steps are same as the same steps as we discussed during the derivation of voltage and current distribution of a transmission terminated with a load. Then we can see that in this if the input impedance at the input terminals is Z in, and the output voltage V0 and the input current I0 are easily obtained from figure B. So from using this figure B, we can find what is V0. So V0 is Z in I0 by Zn plus Zn Vg by Zn plus Zg. The impedance through this line into Zn into the main voltage by total impedance, that is Zg plus Zn. Similarly, I0 is, we can write it as Vg by Zn plus Zg. So we can easily find I0 and V0 use if you are knowing the Zn and Zg. So this is the equation to find V0 and I0. On the other hand, we can take another condition to find this Zn. So for that conditions are, we are taking this we are applying the terminal condition at the load side. So load side VL is represented, volt side the voltage is represented as VL and the current is represented as IL. So that time Z becomes L. So we can apply this condition here. So this become VL is equal to V0 plus e raised to minus gamma L plus V0 minus e raised to gamma L. Similarly, IL is equal to V0 plus by Z0 e raised to minus gamma L minus V0 minus by Z0 e raised to plus gamma L. So after solving this, you will get V0 plus and V0 minus from that equation as half VL plus Z0 IL e raised to gamma L, and V0 minus is half VL minus Z0 IL e raised to minus gamma L. So this steps up to this seventh step, the derivation is same for both the voltage and current terminated with a load as well as input impedance are same. Next we can find the input impedance. So input impedance is nothing but Vs of Z by Is of Z, the voltage at any point to the current at that point, that is that ratio is called as Z in. So we can find it as Vs of Z by Is of Z is equal to you will get it as Z0 into V0 plus V0 minus by V0 plus minus V0 minus, that we obtain from this first equation, that we are taking the condition at the generator side. So you will get this e raised to minus gamma Z and e raised to plus gamma Z become 1. So Vs of Z become V0 plus V0 minus, and Is of Z become V0 plus by Z0 minus V0 minus by Z0. So our input impedance is Vs of Z by Is of Z. So you can divide equation 1 with equation 2. So you will get this S0 to the numerator, sorry, Z0 to the numerator. So you will get it as Z0 into V0 plus V0 minus divided by V0 plus minus V0 minus. So that is our input impedance. So now we know this equation number 7. From that we will get V0 plus and V0 minus. So you can replace that V0 plus and V0 minus respectively. Then simplify the equation by joining by combining all the VL terms together and Z0 IL term together. Then you can use the result e raised to gamma L plus e raised to minus gamma L by 2 as cos H gamma L, and e raised to gamma L minus e raised to minus gamma L by 2 as sin H gamma L. Then sin H gamma L by cos H gamma L we can rewrite as tan H gamma L. So after simplification you will get it as Z in equal to Z0 times ZL plus Z0 tan H gamma L divided by Z0 plus ZL tan H gamma L. So this derivation, the simplification steps you can do as homework. So the only thing is that you need to replace V0 plus and V0 minus from equation number 7. Then combine all the terms that are constant for this VL and similarly for Z0 IL. Then use this equation for cos H gamma L and sin H gamma L as well as tan H gamma L to simplify that equation to obtain the final equation as Z in equal to Z0 into ZL plus Z0 tan H gamma L by Z0 plus ZL tan H gamma L. So this is the input impedance of a lossy dielectric medium. So this equation 9 has been derived for the input impedance Z in at the generation end. It is a general expression for finding Z in at any point on the line. So this we already said that this Z in is at the generator side we found, but this is the general equation for Z in at any point on the line. So to find Z in at a distance L dash from the load, so we can replace L by L dash. So we can replace this to find any other point. You can replace L as L dash. So that's the equation for Z in. For a lossless line, so this is the condition for lossy line. Then we can see what is the input impedance of a lossless line. So we know that for a lossless line there is no attenuation. That means alpha is 0. That means gamma is equal to J beta. So here we have a gamma that becomes J beta. Then tan H J beta L becomes J tan H beta. Sorry, J tan beta L. So remember tan H J beta L become J tan beta L. Tan H J beta L is J tan beta L, and this Z0 we can also write as R0. So we can write this Z in as Z0 into ZL plus J Z0 tan beta L divided by Z0 plus J ZL tan beta L. So this is the input impedance at any point of a transmission line for a lossless transmission line. So this is for a lossy transmission line. So in that case the tan should be tan H gamma L, and for a lossless line that should be J tan beta L. So that's the difference. So this way we can derive the expression for input impedance of a transmission line terminated with a load. So next we can see some special conditions. So first one is the shorted line. That means ZL equal to 0. So in this equation we can write that if it is a shorted line then ZL is 0. So you can replace ZL as 0. So you will get it as Z0 into 0 plus j z0 tan beta L divided by z0 plus 0. So that is j z square tan beta L divided by z0. So that is j z0 tan beta L. So for a shorted line, remember the load impedance is equal to 0. So you will get this input impedance as jz0 tan beta L. And for a shorter line, remember the reflection coefficient is -1 and the VSWR, that thing we will study later, the VSWR should be infinity. So Zin is a pure reactance. So it is jz0 tan beta L. So the term how J term, so we can say that it is a reactance term which could be capacitive or inductive depending on the value of L. The variation of Zin with L is shown in figure. So we can see that the variation of Zin with L. So based on L, it should be capacitive or inductive. So if the value is below the x-axis, then we can say it is capacitive, and if it is above, we can say that it is inductive reactance. So this is the condition for a shorted line. Next, we can see what is the condition for an open circuited line. So for open circuited line, we have infinite load impedance. So to find the input impedance, we can take this ZL outside. So you will get it as from the numerator as well as denominator, we can take a ZL outside. After that, we can apply the limit. So if you are taking the ZL from the numerator, you will get it as Z0 into ZL into 1 plus j Z0 tan beta L by ZL divided by, from the denominator also we are taking ZL outside. So ZL Z0 ZL by ZL into 1 plus j Z0 tan beta L by ZL divided by Z0 by ZL plus j tan beta L. So in this if you are applying the limit as ZL tends to infinity, you will get it as Z0 by ZL becomes 0. Similarly, Z0 by ZL becomes 0. Remaining is Z0 divided by j tan beta L. So we can see Z0 divided by j tan beta L is the final result. So 1 by j is minus j and 1 by tan beta L is cot beta L. So you will get it as minus j Z0 cot beta L. Then for an open circuit, the reflection coefficient is 1 and the VSWR is infinite. So the variation of Zin with L is shown in figure. So we can see that the upper portion is inductive and the lower portion is capacitive. So one I and C is missing in this notation, so you can read it as inductive and capacitive. So the upper portion as said is inductive and the lower portion represents the capacitive reactance. And the third case, when ZL equal to Z0, so the most desired case from the practical point of view is the match line. So we already said that for maximum power transfer, the load impedance should be equal to the characteristic impedance. Otherwise, there is a reflection from the output side to the input side itself, so that will cause power loss. So to avoid the power loss, our aim is to match the ZL with the Z0, so that is called matched line. So for a matched line, there is no reflection. So the reflection coefficient is the ratio of reflected voltage to the incident voltage. So if there is no reflection, then the reflected voltage becomes 0. So reflected voltage to the incident voltage ratio become 0. So if it is perfect match, then the VSWR is 1. That means the VSWR equation is 1 plus modulus of gamma L divided by 1 minus modulus of gamma L. So if gamma modulus of gamma L is 0, then you will get S as 1 itself. So the wave is transmitted, there is no reflection, the incident power is fully absorbed by the load, thus maximum power transfer is possible when a transmission line is matched to a load. So this is the condition. So at a ZL equal to Z0 condition, we can see what is the input impedance. So when ZL equal to Z0, all the term becomes Z0. So Z0 plus j Z0 tan beta L divided by Z0 plus j Z0 tan beta L. So the numerator and denominator cancelled each other. So Zin become Z0 itself. So for a matched condition, the Zin should be equal to Z0. The condition for a line to be matched means ZL should be equal to Z0. At that time, Zin also should be equal to Z0. So this is the input impedance derivation of a transmission line.